welcome. We're here today with Larry Polena. If I say your name wrong, did I say it correctly?
It was close.
I said
Polena.
Larry Polena, and Kelly Sposito. And I know I got that one right. So we're here today to talk to them about the Neo Fund and its mission. So can either one of you kind of give us an overview of your mission?
Sure. Would you like me to pass
Yeah,
the mic?
if you want to pass the mic around, if I get help.
We'll pass the mic. Really, we're lucky in Ashtabula to have Neo Fund because what we do is uplift entrepreneurs, small businesses, and really help the economic development in any way, shape, or form that we can with our networking group. So we are privately funded, so we don't have to worry about checking all these weird government boxes to have certain classes or anything. We do what we need for the community.
Anything else you want to add?
No, that's our kind of our mission is to help entrepreneurs be successful.
Yeah.
So that's people starting up new businesses or people that are in business already.
Yep.
They help them to learn how to run their business more effectively and grow their business, create jobs, and be successful.
Yeah, that's great. So how long has Neo Fund been around?
Well, that's interesting. And in some way, shape, or form, we've been around since probably around 2006 or 7. Just fumbling around and forming and trying to figure out how to get a little business group together and how we could be powerful, sharing ideas and successes, failures, and then really professionalizing into a 501c3 nonprofit so that we could get grants and do the classes and all the things that we have. Larry teaches our starting and growing in the business class. We have networking events like we have here, and we have like one-on-one mentoring classes, QuickBooks classes, and then we really also specialize in helping people get polished and ready if they need funding. When they're ready to go for the big ask for money, they usually need a little cleanup before they go to a bank. So
that's great. So how does Neo Fund kind of support small businesses? I know we were talking a little bit before. You mentioned like during COVID, there was different things that happened. You want to talk a little bit about how you kind of support those businesses as you go along? You mentioned some of the classes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so there's a few things in particular we do. So we offer class, the formal education, like Kelly was talking about already. So starting and growing a new business class for people that want to start a new business or people that want to learn how to run their businesses better. We do monthly networking meetings like we're doing here tonight just to help entrepreneurs connect with each other and help them learn about how they can help each other without us even being involved. And then we bring an educational component into that. We usually have a speaker come in, talk about a topic like social media or finance or something like that. And we do one-on-one coaching. So Kelly in particular works one-on-one with a lot of folks that come in and need some one-on-one attention. And we help people get funding, even though we don't actually lend money out. We've got resources that are very knowledgeable about commercial banking and stuff that can help coach people on how to get the funds that they need.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Can you share kind of a success story related to somebody that you've helped with through Neo Fund?
Well, I would speak up and say where we are right here at the Cloven Hoof. Ryan Sposito, it happens to be my brother-in-law, but he was brewing beer in his basement forever, and I said, if you don't do that, somebody else in town is going to. So he was a real Neo Fund client. He went through Larry's class, how to write his business plan, do all his financials, get prepared to go in front of lenders, and to get funding. And so he did get funded for startup costs, and then eventually also to purchase the building that he's in now. He'll be ready for his next growth. And it's been 5 or 6 years, so it's time. So it was nice to see him through that and his journey with Neo Fund.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into that with that conversation.
And kind of the neat thing is, as people go through, now they're circling around and they're kind of paying it forward to other people. And so Ryan's like talking today to other people to try to help the more junior people be successful. So it's, they
Yeah, it
all
definitely
help each
seems
other.
that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in Asheville, it seems like a pay it forward.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
a
yeah.
pay it forward type of environment, so having that with NeoFund is great. So what advice do you kind of give, or right now, advice that you would like to give to maybe people who want to start a business, and they haven't really, they don't know a lot about NeoFund, or they're a little nervous about it? What kind of advice would you give? That like elevator pitch of advice?
Well, the elevator pitch, I think, was if you think you have a solid idea or product or a dream, you can always reach out to us and have a meeting and just get some initial things down on paper. Because part of it is separating out something emotional and what's monetary. And it's like, will this work for me in this environment at this time? So sometimes it's just sort of helping someone sort out everything and a little bit of being like a life coach to figure out what else is going on, like what their limitations are. You can't run a 24-hour store if you're not available, so it's kind of that at first. And then we start them. Do they need to go to class? Are they advanced enough to be ready for a one-on-one coach? Are they perfectly polished and they just need eyes on their plan and us help finding them some lending? So we kind of meet everybody where they are on their journey.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, one of the objectives we have for the people that go through the class is to help them do an assessment of their opportunity they're looking
Oh,
at.
that's great.
So part of being an entrepreneur is coming up with a great idea. Then the second part is to figure out, is it a good idea or not before you spend
That's
lots
why
of
there's
money.
business partners, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
someone has the good idea, and then sometimes the other part of the brain.
So looking at the financials, doing
Yep.
financial forecasting, writing down your marketing plan, all of that stuff. And at the end of the class, figure out, okay, this actually is a good idea, or maybe I had to think of a different idea.
Yeah, something like that.
And also is, we say our network, it's really loose. It's not a club.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not just
exclusive.
anything.
It doesn't cost anything to join. So when we say like come to our networking meetings, meet some people, because you can build those relationships. And if Larry finds somebody in class that wanted to open a brewery, he would say, you better go talk to Ryan
Yeah,
Sposito
exactly.
and just
Yep.
pick his brain about
Right.
all the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep,
So
exactly.
it's good in a community like Ashtabula when we all kind of rely on each other. We want good places to go, good places to eat. We want our businesses to be successful so that we have places to go. So
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I think that's fantastic. What are the future goals and initiatives of NeoFund? Like, what are you thinking? What does it look like in 5 years?
Well, with the addition of professional staffing, when you run a nonprofit, you're always trying to watch every dollar. So we have professionals like Larry. We have people that help us at Kent State. We have coaches that are that have business acumen, financial backgrounds, all kinds of things. So we like to build that mentoring network, and then also offer classes for the next level businesses that are like, I need to learn more about my financials. I want a deep dive class. And also, it's not from the top down. It's what does the community need? What are they asking for? And then we can help provide that in a more structured way that there's real outcomes at the end.
Yes, for sure.
We want to be kind of a source of people to go to get help too, not just from us either.
Yeah.
So if there's things going on with Growth Partnership, if there's things going on with the chamber, we want to be aware of that so that people come to us, we can say, oh, well, the chamber's doing this, or Growth Partnership's doing that, and we can direct people to any of the resources available in Ashtabula.
So you don't have to be the only one, and that's what I think is great about. We're not like a small community, but you're able to support each other, and you don't have to do all the work. So you can
Yeah,
We want to direct people to other resources too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And be collaborative with those resources. And if we can hop on a project with someone, or if they have new employees that need some certain, like, hey, they need to learn a little bit about, they'll send them to us, just a little buff training in between. So it's a nice little relationship that we have with the community.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Well,
NeoFund that you can think
check
of?
out neofund.org for updates on classes and networking opportunities. And that's a way to get into contact with us, just to start, just a call or stop in the office and say, like, where should I go from here?
Yeah. And can anyone come to, like you said, these networking events?
Yes.
If they see, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they'll be on our website, neofund.org. We're also on Facebook and all the social medias when we have a class or
Okay,
something.
great.
They'll be on there.
Okay, great. So until next time, Ashtabula, we'll see you later, and thank you so much,
Thank
Kelly
you.
and Larry,
All right,
for talking to me today. I'm here with Ryan from Cloven Hoof, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you got into this business. Can you give me a little insight on that?
Yeah, my sister-in-law took over the coffee shop when my brother passed, and I came home from college to work at the business and help, and I ended up becoming a coffee roaster, and just, I don't know, I was taught the worlds of entrepreneur growing up, and it was a tool I wanted to utilize. I really like Ashtabula. I wanted to do something good for this place that, would help everybody and be communal. But I also have a big passion for craft beer, and so my passion is craft beer, and I'm very creative, and I like to make things, and so I don't know. That was kind of like how I got into it. Kelly mentored me a lot, and I wrote a business plan, and I just kind of went and did it.
Yeah, that's what she was. When I talked to her, that's what she said. And I'll ask you some questions a little bit about how NeoFund, kind of supported that.
Absolutely.
But because you've now been in business for 5-6 years, how
7.
long? It's 7.
It's on
I
7.
know. It seems like it's been it was just last year. You know what I mean?
Dude, I know. I was
But
30
time
when I
goes by
started
so
it.
fast,
Yeah, and I'm
doesn't
already
it?
36, and I'm like, wow.
You're like, oh my goodness. So, how has it grown though? Just the idea of the business, the different types of beers you make, all that. How has that grown and changed?
We've definitely evolved a ton.
Yeah.
I think the craft beer industry has really been ever evolving in a very rough way for the last decade. It's no longer you can just have really good beer. You got to do things to get people down here. When we first started, all we had was beer, and now we have local wines. We have keg cocktails.
Use seltzers.
I made a hard seltzer today, and I got hard cider. So we have something for everybody.
Yep.
Doing that helped a lot with my average guest check, and just everybody can feel comfortable here and have something. So
yeah, that's great. Do you see the business growing even more in a different way in the future? Do you have ideas?
yes, I almost expanded 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I didn't.
Yeah. Was it time maybe to do that? You're thinking?
Well, I think for me is that all of my capital I got from NEL and eCapital. Yep. And I can't really take on any more debt. But this year is I'm actually going to have $150,000 in loans paid off.
That's
so
fantastic.
Next year's going to be a great year for me.
Wow.
And I get a raise, as everybody else does. And
so that's fantastic. Then there could be, like you said,
I have architectural plans to expand a brew production on site. Oh, wow. I'm not going to go Great Lakes ever, but I would go 5 to 7 barrel.
Wow.
But if I do that, I have to have probably another bar where I can make it worth it.
Yeah, to make it worth it for sure. But no, that's fantastic. So we'll talk about a little bit about what NeoFund did to help you. I know she shared a little bit of it, but it would be great to hear your side of things.
They supported me from the start. They didn't give up on me because everybody has things that they run into when they do these kinds of things that they can't account for, which is actually why they tell you to always make it look like double the cost because you don't. But that's true.
Yeah.
When I first opened the place, I had to put in an air reclamation unit, all this stainless steel hood because that took my whole first loan, and I had to go back and get more. And everybody, they helped me. Yep. They steered me in the right direction, and
And they said there's a lot of just support. Did you feel like there's a lot of networking support that you had through that process?
Absolutely. Yeah. I do a lot of collaborations with a lot of local restaurants that I've met through them. Fire Chicken. I've known Jeremy for a long time, but he makes my cheese. Stacy, she makes my baked goods and my food. We collaborate with 410 restaurants. I have kegs, all over the place. So
yeah, that's fantastic. So what do you love most about running Cloven Hoof in general? What is your favorite thing? Really?
Well, I'm also a musician, so I would say I just love creating something and seeing somebody enjoy it, and it makes me proud.
Yeah.
So when I serve a beer and someone drinks it, they tell me this is the best beer. That's the peak of. That's what I love. It's fun to make stuff back there, and I have a really good partner named Joe DeDominic, who I couldn't do it without him, and we get to spend a lot of time together, and thankfully we get along really well. So
that's great. So what local events and collaborations have you done since you've been, a business, but also I know that you have Brewfest is a big thing that you do. Can you talk a little bit about that, what that is for people too?
We always do a Hoof It for Hospice event because they were great to my brother, and we give them $5,000 to $7,000 every year by making a beer and selling it and raising money for them. We've done Maddox Cat Rescue, donated for the cats. We do drafts and deadlifts for charity for Catholic charities this year. Um, I'm going to do the Brewfest. And actually, I have to talk to some people and get a date set and stuff. But yeah, I want to go back to the original first year and make it a little bit bigger. I had it on my property because I was trying to do it myself last year, and that was a lot. So I definitely want to get help and make it big. And
Yeah, so tell people out there you want some help with Brewfest, right? Anybody who's interested.
yeah. Well, I'm going to talk to some people in the LBCA. I already had a conversation tonight with some of them, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. It'll be a good time.
Yeah,
It's a lot of stress and a lot of work. I've done a lot of things and failed.
Right, but if you don't try,
I've definitely tried everything.
You'll never know, right?
A lot of things down here.
Yeah,
So.
that's great. And if you never try, though, that's the thing with doing a business or anything. If you don't try, you'll never know.
Yeah, I'd say that I've been a little bit overly ambitious, and there's times when I didn't realize that doing all these extra things also takes manpower and bodies and work, and then
all the things that.
But you live, you learn, you move on, you find your strengths, and capitalize on them. So
yeah, is there anything else you would like to share with readers or watchers?
I guess I just want to thank NEO Fund and eCapital and the community and everybody for supporting me to be able to do this for this long. And it was a dream, and it's ever evolving, and I'm very thankful for it. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds.
Great. Thank you so much, Ryan, for talking to
You're
me.
welcome.
And I'll see you guys next time, Asheville and Lake County.